like we always do, in a nice easy seat, whatever's comfortable for you. I kind of mentioned last class, you know, if you're kind of having issues with your knees, maybe your hips, feel free to fold that mat over. You can do it, you know, you can also sit on blankets, a pillow. If you have a block, this is a really great prop as well. I recommend everybody purchase one or try and build something like this. It just really helps you get a lot deeper in those stretches. So while we get going, just kind of take a minute and really settle in. Get those wiggles out. Grab any props you might need, water, happy hour beverage, whatever you're having tonight, and just begin to close down the eyes. Again, palms can be facing up or they can be resting on your knees. I think the best part about yoga, mobility exercises is these are completely your own. The only wrong way to do it is if it hurts you. But just take whatever time you need. Begin to roll those shoulders back. Reaching the spine long, grounding the tailbone into the mat. And just begin to breathe normally. And empty all the air from your lungs. Once you're at the bottom of that exhale, take a big, deep inhale through the nose. And a long exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. You should begin to feel the lungs getting bigger and bigger with each big, deep inhale. Most important part of any mobility training or yoga practice is the breath. And so, as always, come back to that breath if you start to feel restless, if your mind begins to wander. And on your next inhale, drop the head back, gazing towards the ceiling. As you exhale, slowly begin to circle the head. Chin reaches the chest. Maybe pausing here for just a moment if you're feeling any areas of tension in your neck. And do 3 rounds in one direction. You can keep those eyes open or close them down. And as you're ready, begin to switch directions. Again, pausing in any areas you might need a little bit extra. You know, if those of us that are working from home, we're on computers all day long, we might notice our shoulder blades are just naturally kind of slumping up. Try and force them down, reaching that spine long. And as you're ready, bringing the head back to a neutral position. And on the inhale, begin to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and roll them back down towards the back. Taking a minute to open up that heart space across the collarbones. And again, inhale to roll them back. And one more time. And then reverse directions. If you need to create some arm circles, don't be afraid to really exaggerate that movement. Like I said, there's no wrong way to do it. It's whatever feels good for you.
Ow.
And as you're ready, begin to come into hero pose. Those of you that were here on Sunday, it's kind of an awkward position, so placing the tops of the feet down onto the mat and really grounding them down. You can just sit on the heels like this, or you can begin to just kind of place the hips in between the feet. You can really feel that stretch in the top of the quads. And as we come here, we're going to inhale and we're going to open up the heart, doing a little back bend, and exhale to fold over. Really exaggerating that stretch in the back body. Again, inhale to open the heart space, breathing across the collarbones, and exhale as you round the back. You should really be able to feel it in your lats, all the way up through your shoulder blades. And one more time, inhale, and exhale. And inhaling back up, we're going to come into child's pose, big toes together, knees about max distance, sinking those hips back, reaching the arms forward again, feeling that stretch. And as you're ready, resting the forehead onto the mat. And just stay here on your own for about 3 rounds of breath. Whatever kind of free movement you need, maybe you bring the hips up, coming into puppy pose. This is a nice shoulder stretch as well. Or just give yourself that time to breathe and be centered. And as you're ready, inhale, coming up into that tabletop position. Stacking shoulders over wrists, fingertips spread out wide, knees about hips distance, neutral spine, belly button tucked in tight. And on the inhale, dropping the belly, coming in to cow pose, beginning to warm up that spine. And exhale as you push away the floor, cat. Inhale again. Do this a couple of times just on your own, kind of whatever feels good. And maybe you add those hip swivels. This is going to be a lot like Sunday's class, so about 10 to 15 minutes of kind of an active practice, and then the rest of the class will be mostly restorative, lower body, stretching out those hips, those inner thighs, and the legs. And as you're ready, coming back to that neutral spine, sinking back into child's pose. And inhale to walk the hands over to the left, really feeling that stretch in that right side body. And continuing to breathe. It's at this point in the practice that we begin to notice the areas of our body that are maybe more tense than others, where we feel our stress, where we hold our emotions. Inhale as you come back to center, taking one breath in traditional child's pose. And exhale to walk the hands back over to the right, stretching out that left side. Again, coming back to center, one breath. And inhaling back up to that tabletop position. Coming into down dog, untuck those toes, nice and slow, lift those hips up and back. Coming into down dog, feeling free to bend those knees as much as you need to. Just taking some breaths here, pedal out the feet. Maybe you lift up onto the toes, pushing back on the heels. Let's spend just one more round of breath. And inhale as you look up in between the hands. Exhale to step, coming into a forward fold, bent knees. It's totally okay. We're just going to come into gorilla pose. Turn this way so you guys can see. Just kind of letting the hands hang. The head and the neck should be relaxed. Keep swaying from side to side, decompressing that spine after warming it up. And as you're ready, straightening the legs, inhaling up into a halfway lift, keeping that spine straight. You can either bring the knees or the hands to the shins, to the thighs, and exhale as you forward fold. Inhale to plant the hands, step that left foot back, coming into a low lunge. And just holding here for a minute, taking some time to make sure those hips are square, 10 toes are pointing forward, and as you're ready, dropping down that back knee, untucking the foot, placing the top of the foot onto the mat. Inhale as you come up. A couple of different options here. You are more than welcome to just stay in this position, or if you want to work on your balance, coming up into a slight back bend. Then slowly clasping the hands behind the back, really opening up that heart space. And as you're ready, beginning to fold over to the inside of that right leg, letting the hands drop towards the mat. And releasing that, coming into half splits, feeling that stretch on your hamstring. And inhaling back up, lifting up that left leg, coming back, forward fold. Take an inhale as you slowly roll up, coming all the way to standing. Exhale to roll the shoulder blades down the back. And just one round sun salutation. Inhale to raise the arms, gazing up in between the hands. And exhale to bring your hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale to circle the arms. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, stepping back the right foot this time. And again, taking that minute, just making sure the hips are square, toes are pointed forward. That right back heel is really sending its energy to the back of the room. And as you're ready, coming down onto that knee, inhaling up, bringing hands to the left knee. And again, you can stay here. You can bring the arms up, coming into that nice little back bend, clasping the hands, opening up the heart. And as you're ready, folding over. Inhale to come out and back to half splits, making sure you're flexing those toes towards your face. And inhale, coming back, opening up into that lunge. Right foot comes up to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, planting the hands, stepping both feet back, coming into a high plank. And from here, we're going to take an inhale as we roll forward and exhale to lower all the way down. Untucking the toes, placing feet a little bit wider than hips distance. On the inhale, rolling up into Cobra. Again, being mindful to keep those shoulder blades down the back, not hunched up towards the ears. And exhale to come down and up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale it through to a low lunge. Coming up into a high crescent, just keeping that left leg nice and strong, creating your foundation, and as you're ready, straightening that front leg, beginning to fold forward, pyramid pose. You should be able to really feel this stretch in your hamstring, but don't be afraid to bend that knee as much as you need or use a block. And from here, placing the right foot or the right hand next to the left foot, coming up into just a revolved pyramid for a nice little twist. And exhale to bring hand down to the mat. Left foot comes back to meet the right. Coming into your Chaturanga Vinyasa, which is all the way to the mat, or you can go halfway down and lifting up into upward facing dog, keeping the knees and the thighs lifted. And exhale, back to down dog. Same thing right side, inhale that left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Coming up into that crescent, keeping those legs nice and strong. And as you're ready, straightening that front leg, grounding down that left foot, and reaching forward, pyramid pose. Again, bending that knee as much as you need to. And the left hand comes to the inside of the right foot, revolve pyramid just for a minute. Nice little twist. And exhale, right hand down. Right foot comes back to meet the left. Coming into your high plank, moving through your Chaturanga or straight to down dog. And left leg lifts. Inhale it through to a low lunge. Again, coming up, crescent lunge. From here, we're going to move into warrior two. So bringing that right foot parallel to the mat. Hands come out to a T. Gazing over those left fingertips if it's in your practice. Inhale as you reach the hand forward, and exhale to come into a reverse. Being mindful here not to just collapse, but to really reach up in this left side body. Using your core strength, feeling the core. And exhale to cartwheel the hands. Left foot comes back to meet the right. Right hand comes underneath the nose. Side plank. I know you guys love the side planks. Miles told me. And exhale it down. Moving through Chaturanga or down dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale up, crescent lunge. And you should be able to feel that strength from just the beginning. Exhale to warrior two, left foot comes parallel to the mat. Gazing over those right fingertips, flipping the hand, reaching forward, and coming into that reverse. Really feeling yourself lifting up and out, that right side body, feeling the separation of the ribs. And exhale the hands down. Left hand comes underneath the face, side plank. And exhale the hand down. Chaturanga or down dog. We're just going to do one more quick little flow before we move into our restorative postures. So coming into down dog, Inhaling left leg high. Exhale as you draw it through into a low lunge. Coming up into that high lunge. Move this way. Warrior two. From warrior two, you're going to come up, both legs straight, heels pointed in, toes pointed out. And as you're ready, just nice and slow, trying to keep that spine as straight as possible, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Option to just stay here in the forward fold, or if you're needing a little bit of stretches in your shoulders, clasping the hands behind your back and just letting those hands fall towards the mat. Again, bending the knees as much as you need to. And dropping those hands, dropping them down to the mat. Wide leg forward fold. On the inhale, you're going to walk those hands over to grab the left ankle. Kind of coming into a short little twist. You should also be able to feel that stretch in that left hamstring. And bringing the hands over to the right ankle. Please feel free to do this at your own pace. Don't feel like you have to go as fast or as slow as I do. Again, that nice little twist. It's really good for the insides. One last wide leg forward fold. Bringing the hands to the hips. Inhale as you hinge up. And coming back into that warrior two. For one little inner hip stretch. Exhale to cartwheel the hands down to the inside of the left foot. Bringing that right leg down to the ground, coming into runner's lunge. This is also called lizard pose. But you can notice my foot is on the outside blade and the toes are flexed towards the face. So you should really be able to feel this stretch on the inside of that left thigh, all the way up into the groin. If your hips aren't super open, you might just stay here, or if it's in your practice beginning to fold down, you can really feel that deep stretch. And as you're ready, taking your time to slowly come out, coming all the way up onto those hands, lifting up that right foot, left foot comes back to meet the right, Chaturanga or down dog. And same thing here, inhale, right leg high, exhale it through to a low lunge. Coming up into that crescent, and as you're ready, coming into that warrior two. Just taking a minute here, feeling that strength. It should feel a little bit better, not quite as stiff. And as you're ready, coming into that five-pointed star. From here, we're going to come into goddess pose. So take a big deep inhale, reach up, and exhale as you come down. Trying to bring those hamstrings as parallel to the mat as you can. I obviously am not that parallel. And just holding here. If you'd like to pulse for a little bit extra, and inhale to come all the way up. Exhale to fold forward. Coming into that wide leg forward fold again. Inhale as you bring the right hand underneath the face, left hand reaches to the sky, wide leg twist. And exhale, hand comes down, left hand underneath the head, right arm lifts. Twists are great if you have digestive issues. It's like wringing out a towel for your insides. And exhale to bring it down. Again, hands come to the hips, slowly hinging upwards, coming back into that 5-point star. Warrior 2, taking one big deep inhale through the nose. And exhale as you cartwheel the hands to the inside of the right foot, heel toeing that foot to the edge of your mat. As you're ready, coming down. Coming onto the outer edge of that right foot, flexing the toes towards your face again, just keeping that knee protected. Maybe you stay here or begin to fold over. You might notice that one side is definitely more open than the other. That is the case for me. Inhale as you come back up onto the hands, lifting up on that back foot. Last Chaturanga before we move into restorative. And coming into down dog. Just taking note of how that down dog feels compared to the very first one about half an hour ago. And exhale as you come down onto the knees. Just moving into child's pose for 3 rounds of breath. Maybe you grab some water, wipe some sweat. As you're ready, begin to come to seated on your mat. Absolutely no rush. Now we're in the restorative portion. Where we'll be holding these postures for a little bit longer. We're going to start just in Cobblers Pose, or butterfly, like we called it. Those that were in the class on Sunday, we did this then. So if you need anything underneath your hips to kind of prop them up, grab a pillow, grab a blanket, a sweater, whatever you need. We're going to be holding these for about a minute, maybe a little bit longer. But if you guys ever need to kind of back out of these postures, please don't hesitate. Bringing the thumbs to the bottoms of your feet, using the elbows to push down the knees. And something we talked on Sunday, demonstrated this way, is just making sure that that spine is flat as you lean forward instead of hunched. So then you're still getting some engagement in the upper body as well. Inhale back up to a seated position. We're going to keep the right leg in and extend the left. So bringing that right foot to the inner left thigh. And we're just going to do a one-legged fold. And again, just letting the hands fall, or if you'd really like an extra stretch, grasping that left foot. What's really important in these restorative postures is that you notice any tension in your face. Oftentimes, when we're really pushing our bodies, we notice that we furrow our brows or we clench our jaw. So I just challenge you to begin to close down the eyes and completely relax your face. Inhale as you come up. From here, you're gonna take that right leg and you're gonna place it behind you. And we're gonna get a nice quad stretch in that right foot or that right leg. So maybe you stay here or just kind of slowly inch back. Or if able, lean all the way back and really feel that stretch. As you're ready, slowly inhaling up, releasing that right leg. I'm gonna move into the same thing on the left side, so keeping that right leg out long. Left foot comes in to the inside of the right thigh. Again, maybe you stay here, or as you're ready, you hinge forward, grabbing that right foot. Up. Just taking a minute, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling, lengthening that spine. Bringing that left leg back, knee comes to the earth. And again, maybe you just stay here or you go all the way back, whatever it takes for you to feel a good quad stretch. Inhale as you slowly come back up. Reaching both legs out long. We're going to do a traditional seated forward fold. So again, taking a minute, making sure that spine is reaching up to the ceiling. You hinge forward at the hips prior to rounding the spine. Again, maybe this is as far as you can go, completely okay. If you'd like to kind of work your way into it, you can take your first two fingers, grasp them around your big toes like a hook, and slowly begin to pull the upper body towards the thighs. Inhale as you come up to seated. Bringing both feet onto the mat. You're going to take your right foot, bringing the right ankle over the left knee, coming into reclined figure 4. Again, maybe you stay here. If you'd like that added stretch, you can roll onto the back and using the hands beneath that left thigh to really bring your foot towards your face, and you should be able to feel that stretch along the right IT band. This is a great stretch for runners. Exhale as you just drop both knees into chest, coming into that little yogi ball. You roll from side to side, giving that lower back some nice pressure. Forward. Our final posture is happy baby, so reaching the hands in between the knees, grasping the outside edges of the feet. This will be our last active pose before we come into our final rest. If you want one final hamstring stretch, you straighten one leg, straighten another. And just keeping that spine as flat as you can. Several options for final rest tonight. We typically have been ending in legs up the wall. You're more than welcome to come into legs up the wall, or you can come into traditional Shavasana, which is just taking up as much space on your mat as possible. I know as we enter, I think, in what is the 5th week of quarantine, emotions are probably running pretty high, tensions are high in the household. You might be more stressed than usual and not really understanding the isolation, the loneliness. Just using this last couple minutes to just give yourself that time to think and that peace in your mind that we're all going to get through this time of loneliness. We'll eventually get to go back to work. Our kids will go back to school. The world will gradually return to whatever our normal might be. So we will end here. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining us today. This has been a great class.